Today's class will primarily focus on counter thrusting and counter cutting. What this means, in essence, is content, but when Rob thinks that he has an opening, he's going to cut it at me, and he's going to go for something. Now, he could be doing it at a distance where he's intending to not actually hit me, but he wants to draw my sword out to gain an advantageous position, and then something's going to happen. And it's going to suck for me. Knowing that this is the thing that happens, using distance and timing, when Rob cuts in, I'm going to countercut on the inside so that I am intercepting the blade and striking Rob at the same time. I am protecting myself and then hitting Rob. If this were a thrust, same idea. Get the thrust out of your way, stab it back. This is a change for us. I mean, we could also look at it as if you thrust in, the break of the thrust is a counter action. It is an action that is performed to steal from the German in des while something is happening. While the sword is coming at me, I'm going to do something. Get it out of the way. So I'm not going to get hit. And then, we can do something afterwards. Straightforward, right?
Yep.
Makes sense? Easy!
Easy stuff.
No.
Beautifully.
Not at all easy.
So easy.
Attack.
You have to know mentally where they're going, how hard they're cutting, and countering. Before you meet blade, that's all.
That's only 3 things.
How can that be hard? I mean, come on. You should have already read their intention from which way their feet are pointing.
I was gonna ask, do you know if any good healing books on movement or footwork, or is it just are they just people posting blogs and articles and stuff like that? Or not even healing, but just like martial arts in general,
Yes.
on like footwork or movement or.
Yes, that is very.
I was doing a bunch of research, and it's sparse so many people. Like there's not a lot of topical, very topical, but there's not a lot of. I can't find any books on.
Sorry,
The short version is that there are great books out there for foot movement and, stepping and turning the body, all that kind of stuff.
Not related to my martial
Hey, it's technically related. It's usually like modern fencing.
yeah.
It's.
Ken Monshire just posted something. I don't know if you're following.
I saw that.
You saw that? It's the difference between historical fencing and HEMA is in fencing we move our feet. Which there is a fair amount of truth to that.
Yeah.
There's a fair amount of truth to that. But
I'm trying to change that.
well, yes,
One club at a time.
I know. Again, the base secreta is footwork. That's why I know the area.
The real difficult part is all the manuals have passing references to footwork. But that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, historically, Meyer and Rosser probably
Myron Lawrence will probably talk about
the most, yeah.
He already talks about it. He's got 4 steps: the increasing step, the decreasing step, the passing step, the returning step.
Yeah. Meyer in his plays gives you how you're stepping and where most of the time during the action. But once again, it takes some translation on the translation. So, but no, there is not a modern, I can't think of a modern good book that covers footwork. I'm trying to think.
There's
Not specific.
Well, not for historical fencing, yeah, so much.
I mean, if you're looking for a good way to do
Just write a book.
No one's gonna read
opponent will hate it
Yeah.
and explain exactly why I'm wrong.
Yep,
And the other 60 will be like, this is something that the community needed.
that's right. And here, let me loan it to you.
That's
not buy it.
That's
And then after a couple of years of work, you'll be like $400 or $500 richer.
I mean, you mark, but that's still positive, that's still $400.
For 2 years of work. Not really. You do this for a while, not for money.
Yeah. All right, so this side is going to be attacking. We're going to start with a countercut. Basically, this side is going to step in, make a cut. It should land about here-ish. If that arm is extended, go ahead and get it. But we're using it. This is my personal thing. Your first cut shouldn't be to the other person's body. Why? Because if my first cut is to your body, and you take a step directly in at me, this is where we're at.
Every time.
Every time. Every time. And people wonder why they're grappling range all the time. Why can't I do this stuff with both? You're fencing too close.
Right.
So this first cut should be to about here. At the same time as this first cut, I'm going to put my mask on so you can counter cut. Yep. It's just a cut in opposition. Simple, right?
Different than a parry.
It's different than a parry. Well, okay.
I know,
It's yes, but no.
Right.
you're just making.
Talking about the idea of a parry versus a cover. A cover, I don't give a damn what their sword is doing. I am making this cover, and I'm not getting it because of the path that my blade takes. The definition of parry is parry. It's stopping the sword from hitting you in a way that's not an attack. It's not a 10-time count. It's complicated. But
It's sort of like passive versus active action, like a
oh no, parry is definitely an active action.
When you're doing a cover, so you're making a passive action. You're not engaging, like you're engaging the blade, but you're not making a threatening action. Sort of while it's out for a parry, you're in within.
No. A parry is a response to a threatening action.
Okay.
A cover is a universal action that your sword takes to keep you safe. Because for this single time counter, this is making a cover while it's attacking.
Right. Medieval sword fighting, you would attack. I'm attacking, you do is attack. That covers you. This is an attacking or attack. Now that's focused on the sword, a big German, that's where it's supposed to land. It still covers the action, but I make the attack at the same time. When I teach parry is a purely defensive action. So he throws it, and I'm here, okay? Anything I do after my parry is a second action.
A riposte.
Right. So now I have to now take another tempo of time to make my attack. Whereas the ideal in medieval sword fighting is as he attacks, I defend and attack him at the same time. That's ideal.
Now, this is an ideal. We're not getting too much into this. This is an ideal for all sword actions, all sword arts. The idea of a single time counter. What I mean by a single time counter is the action I take in a counter and attack is done at the same time. So, it's a single action in one tempo. Cut in, counter cut, cover, end it. As compared to the parry cost of 1, 2. And people will go, it's like 1.5 tempos. It's 2 separate actions, it's 2 tempos.
Right.
Just admit it. The downside to a single time action is that the space of time that I have to do this, I'm going to slow this down.
When we do attack, you're gonna
Yes, you attack, I'm going to do a counter. I'm too late.
count. Right.
I'm too early. I'm on time.
Right.
The space that you have to do a single time action is small. The reason we're doing this is to work on measure and timing. Why? Because it's important, and this has a really good metric of, I've done this successfully. Yes! I've done this successfully. Versus, well, sure that one up. Or, getting a little touchy. Yep, screw that one up.
Yep.
Rob is throwing the same intensity cut each time. I'm throwing the same intensity cut each time. The thing that's changing isn't even really our distance or our measure, because we're resetting the same spot over and over again. It's that time. Oh, it's too late.
Yeah.
And doing all the things. Or, haha!
There you go.
Well, now we just switched the roles, and I'm no longer counterattacking, I'm attacking, you're counterattacking.
So the best way to get better time is just experience practice.
Which is what this is going to be. This does mean that as partners, we have to be respectful of our partner's actions. What I mean by this isn't, I'm going to make this attack, and Rob's going to do the single time counter. And just letting it happen. It's going,
If he knows what to do, he can stop me.
yep.
So, let me see if you got this. All right, he's gonna do the counter. Oh, I'm gonna hit harder and jam him up, so you know that's what he's doing. You don't think that?
Yeah. We need to semi-cooperative.
Right.
It's not compliant because if Rob duffs his time, like he's just in la la land, like here, I do want to finish the action. But I don't want to stuff every action that he does. Like, I know he's going to count, ha
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm no longer actually attacking him. I'm no longer
Yeah, just stop this.
doing anything that I want to do. I'm just stopping him.
Right.
And it's no longer that single time count. It's no longer counter cutting. It's a period. Ha Now I can cut you.
Right.
I'm still going for this.
If you think the intensity of, I'm gonna make this attack, and immediately shift around the other side, that's generally about the power I think you want. Because that way you're not driving in.
Yep.
When you're thinking, oh, I'm pulling your sword out. And then I'm gonna switch sides. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about the right thing. About the right feel. What?
And the following up is something right like,
Yeah, I think that's the intensity I think you're striking.
but yeah,
You're not trying to cleave through his desk.
you're trying to intelligently attack
Right.
and intelligently counter attack. Questions? I've talked way too much for this.
Your guys' turn. You've done this enough.
No. We've done this enough.
We've gotten in our 20. It's your turn. pretty good. I'm expecting that. Attack.
Mike's timing is pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, switch roles. Cool.
Yay.
How'd that feel? Pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm standing where I'm at. Everybody rotate one spot. Now we're all going to get to do this. This side attack 5 times. That side counter. And then switch roles. After both sides have gotten to do it 5 times, rotate. Yeah.
Okay. Roar.
Okay. I'm going to rotate. And same thing.
One more time.
Yeah. How it happened.
Thank you.
Oh. Alright, attack.
Roar. Yay!
Good. One more, we're good there. All right. Pretty straightforward, right? How can we mix this up? How can we change the game? How can we make this more like sparring?
Remove the agent and patient.
Can't do that yet.
Okay, so that's too far.
Can't do that yet. Because then it's just chaos. That's like structure, chaos. There's a semi-chaos in between there. Thoughts?
I have one person go for the count.
No, finish that.
I'm saying I have one person go for the count card and the other person try to counter their count card with count cards.
Yeah. Okay. Follow that.
Follow that.
So this basically.
That's why I said name line.
Okay, no, that's all right. Good. No, I followed it. I'm like, yeah, that's what it was like that.
Any ideas?
So,
What do we currently have standard in this room? What is set?
Your attack.
The attack,
similar position, the first person.
counter,
Second
stance, the distance. We are starting in measure. We are starting in this spot where it's like, I'm going to make this cut, and I can interact with your sword, and maybe I'm going to be able to hit you if you step in.
Right.
How many times have we sparred that we're just hanging out in that measure?
All the time.
You see, it's actually a terrible question because I've seen people hang out in measure and change guards, just like, you here, and he's changing
No,
here.
I like this one.
It's like, you're here, you're in a measure of, if I take a step, I'm gonna be interacting with you, or closer, and you're gonna change to this guard? Okay.
It's what I remember from the drill.
I'm just going to follow that right in. Not horizon. You're moving your guard away from me, I'm gonna just chase that opening.
They really just want to get close.
Nobody wants to get me close, they just get me close anyway. All right, so we can change one of two things. We can either change the guards that we're working from, or we can start from farther away, come into measure, and start this attack.
Okay.
Which do you want to do?
I'm gonna take measure.
You want to play measure?
Yeah.
I mean, that is kind of the goal of this entire lesson, to mess with measure. To make us recognize when we're in range, when we're not. Recognize, okay, something's about to happen. Am I close enough to make this happen? I'm going to figure that out. So I'd like you to start farther away than you think you're in range for. This side, the attacking side, is going to start the approach. You're both going to approach, but the attacking side is going to decide when to make the attack. So you're both going to start to approach. And when you think you're about where you want to be to launch an attack, launch. We'll do like 3 to 5 times each. Okay.
Find myself just like off foot, like the stance is off. I mean,
I'm gonna be on the kick.
There it is. You're going to do this one more time. This time, instead of stepping out,
just that.
I want you to step into the attack.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, controls. You got controls?
Yep.
Go. Do it a couple more times.
Okay. Unmute.
Good.
I'm not used to the, is that used to the expression that you kind of just like go forward, so. This is also what I'm always practicing the counter stepping out. Every time I do the counter, I'm falling over.
All right, I'm going to take spots. We're going to do this with 2 more cards, and we're going to talk about this. Yeah, it's going to be super quick for us.
Alright, so same drill?
Yep, same drill.
Okay.
All that first.
Whoosh.
Good. Unmute.
There you go. And also keep the cat first.
How many downsides of doing this? Always land on the bottom.
Alright.
This is the drill to test your thumb protection.
Yeah.
You got switch? Cool. Rotate. One last person.
One last person. Yeah, you let's shout.
I'm suffering, I gotta take my gear out from last week.
Good. There you go.
You wanna go to full switch?
What do you mean?
Can you use one more time? Instead of stepping out, I want to step in.
I'm sorry about that.
That's right.
Good.
All right, your time.
At night at top class, this is very similar to the drills we started. We just were focusing on footwork and how to blade that instead of that.
Good.
Well, very simple.
What's the interest there? Out of all the different passes you take.
All right, hot mess.
Uh-huh.
Get a little water.
Yes.
Water. Because it's like 60 something
Yeah.
in January.
Yeah, Bob and I talked about it.
So glad global warming's not a thing.
We'll just tweak. I can already see the dystopian future where there's just giant vacuums in the sky sucking out CO2.
All right, so
Vacuums in the sky.
Yeah, and then robots and AI.
Yeah.
It makes
robots
beats.
in the eye with
That's right.
So let's talk about the drill and the failings that are up. How much did this work? How many times did you get a solid counter cut that landed?
But it's not gonna work. I call it.
Yeah,
50% probably.
about 50%,
Yeah.
which,
Like without cheating.
yeah.
How you bringing your hands up at the end of your strike or something like that. But
I mean, honestly, 50% for this is not good.
yeah.
Like, in terms of like proper structure of drill, 75% is that optimal. You want to get about 75% of the time, but 50% pretty good. What are the failures then? Where did it not work? Why? And why does it not work? Always.
Once again, if you're just as too close, you end up quarter court, and so you don't gain the advantage. You will block, you push each other out. As you finish your cut, oh, yep, now all of our hands are up in the air like they always are.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah. Distance, managing your distance.
Right.
Starting the action too close.
Yep.
It's super tempting. Super tempting to just. I'm not trying to do it. I'm not trying to do it. I know I can hit you. Oh shit, we're too close.
We're too close. Yeah. Because you're not thinking counter cutting. Well, if you're thinking counter cutting, that's great. If you're not, generally just going, oh look, he's kind of open. I'll bet I can sneak one in.
Yep. That's just a general issue. What about the fact that we both know we're doing?
That helps.
And it hurts.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're going to attack. I know you're going to attack. You know I'm going to attack. And then we get into a rhythm. So it's like, and I'm going to attack. And you kind of put the proper time because you know really love this drill.
You know where they're going to strike to.
And you know where it's going to strike and blah, blah, blah.
They're not going to fade or do a cut.
Yep. Definitely failed in this drill because it actually hurts our ability to see time and see tempo and see tells and actions. One of the things for the first drill that I did was I just fucked with my timing. It's like, and attack. attack. Cool. And attack. Just to break up the drill, the timing of the drill. So we don't fall into the ba, 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 ba. That we all do. And the second thing is, when we were approaching measure, one of the things I was trying to do was show a preparatory action that leads into my attack. Now, obviously, this preparatory action is a super tell, which is why I also use it for the approach. You know that if I hang out here, I'm approaching with my left foot forward. Now, this is against the 7-5 thing because we're thinking this time.
It's drill.
That's drill. But it's also looking forward to tell. Where does this change from this to this? What is changing in that, the thing that I'm doing? And this isn't a,
Analyze action right now.
no, this is a, where are the tells? Where do you see these actions? Because we're going to do this again, we're going to start looking at tells. Because that's part of this time. Because I cannot countercut Rob if I don't know when Rob's about to make an attack. So Rob's going to start to do something.
You fell it.
And just because of posture, that shoulder has to start to come forward. And when it does,
Right.
that's part of the time for the second.
Because I have to give a threat. If I just do this and lead with that left shoulder, he's going to take my closest arm. So I have to bring this around before. I can done not to.
Other tells that you will see. The sword tip goes back because I'm about to cut.
Right. Oh yeah, you do that.
Oh, all the time.
And that's it. Yep.
If you ever see someone approach you with their sword straight up in the air, with special caveats for people like Gunraider, Count Shuriken, who can be here and just drop that cut, like instantly, no prep, no nothing. It's just
They drop it.
for people who aren't like that. If they're approaching like this, you're going to see that point come back before they cut.
Which is really dumb. You don't have to do that. But we do.
You don't have to for two reasons. One, you can make it come from here.
Right.
Two, if you're going to be going back,
Just leave it there.
Start back here.
Start back here, yeah. But yes, no. But people,
the other one,
when they shrug.
the shrug before that.
Right.
And this happens even here. It's like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention, well, I'm going to mention in the hand. It's like, if you see me, you'll know like that's happening because you're going to see loose, 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 grip.
Right.
That's also usually inside action.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, it's a tell, but it's also like, it's coming!
It's coming. Yeah, when I'm serious, my knees bend a little bit. Like, if I'm here and we're playing around, the moment my knees drop, that's when my attack's gonna come. So I need to load the spring. And like everybody, I'm crappy at footwork, so I don't walk around like this when I'm fixing. So I don't have to. I get lazy and stand up and we walk around a little bit. Then I go, I'm gonna launch an attack. I've done it for fucking 20 years. I competitively fenced Olympic. I fenced this one guy that turned me and says, man, you should whip my ass. He says, yeah, I can tell when you're serious because you're light and you're fencing. And the moment you get serious, you drop like 5 inches and all of a sudden the attack's coming. And they're like, as soon as I pick that up, I know exactly when it's coming. And I still haven't fixed it. I still do it. luckily,
That's what this is for.
yeah.
The favorite tell that I found in a tournament was, okay, so in a tournament, you start in a ring that's anywhere between like
20 feet.
15 feet and 30 feet across. Like anywhere between 15 feet and 10 meters across. So like oftentimes, especially if you start like at the edge, you'll be here and then you'll approach. And I noticed this one dude, he would come up and he'd drop as soon as I was range, as soon as he's ready to do something. As soon as I saw that, like, he did it 3 times in a row.
Oh, wow.
That third time, he dropped and went,
Oh, what are you doing?
just landed. Afterwards, you could never tell him where, but afterwards, I just pulled the sunset. So I hit you like the last couple of points because you would approach and you drop when you were in range. You get ready to fence in range. Get ready to fence before you're in range. Yeah, all these cells, all these little things that you just pick up.
I take a lot of people with switching buttons. Move it all. Alright, I'm here. Oh, look, I moved back. Oh, crap. And I'll watch you. I'll watch you switch guards a few times. Then I'll make you switch guards. I'll go. Still not there. I better. Look. Oh, there it is. Okay. He's going down to that horse suit. Guess what? That's mine. And you just have to watch for it. But you can make your opponent switch guards by switching guards yourself. They go, shit, I have to do something about that. Oh, okay. You know, and find it when you go. That's all strategy.
Yeah.
That's
All
strategy.
right. So we're
So what's our
now
goal?
about that. Any questions about anything that we've done already?
You learn every time. You don't leave every time.
I guess you just have to be aware of yourself. I was wondering, I don't think I'm going to be able to lead another opponent other than myself. And I was thinking, what's the best way to be aware of your body when you don't tell? Is it just being cognizant of when you fight, but like, say you're in a freestyle. Because like when I'm in a freestyle, I don't really know.
I will give you the God's honest truth. The best way to find out what your tells are and what your habits are to ask other people and watch videos of you fight.
Yeah, when I fence with you guys, I always like I'll find something and go, hey, you're doing this. That's why I hit you every 3 times. Because you're not coming up fast enough. Or you're leaving that open and you cut it.
Or you're coming too close before you start.
But I will often say you're doing this. And if you start hitting me at the same place, that's like if I get hit 3 times or twice in a spot, I'm like, well, what the fuck am I doing this? And so trying to replicate it, so you hit me there again, you go, obviously I'm fucking up. If I was doing it right, you wouldn't hit me.
It's
Right, this is where you do it. If you get hit a bunch of times in places, how are you hitting it? What are you seeing that's making me open? What am I doing that makes that spot? And then you just work on it. But other people's tells, play with it for exchange. That's part of it. You know, go, hey, wait a minute. Hey, he is rocking that back down close to the dot. Cool. As soon as it rocks back, that's when I shoot a snap a cut.
So I feel like whenever I'm in a fight, I feel like I don't have enough awareness. The adrenaline takes over a little too much, and I'm not able to be in that mindset.
That's okay. It's not 20 years now. Start now, 20 years are good.
Would it be better to like do work on that stuff in like slower exchanges?
That helps. And you can just say, hey, let's work on a slower exchange.
Yep.
Anybody will have to do that.
Yeah.
And that's how you work with it. If you take the speed out of it, then it's just your technique and distance. Timing.
The quarter speed sparring is actually one of those great things that really highlights when you're doing things right, when you're doing things wrong. The biggest problem with it is that it does tend to remove tells.
It does.
Because you're going so slow.
Right.
You don't.
And you have to have the other person not thinking about it.
Yep.
Tells happen because you are talking that adrenaline, and so are they. You know, and so.
They're calling it a hack.
Yeah, I have it, right. And once again, we all have one.
Yeah. All right, so we'll put it on just to protect it because we're going to have to do kind of thrusting.
I don't know what thrust is coming in, but, I mean, yeah. Once again, when I train a lot of times, especially with anybody here, it's something you do crappy and then work on it. One day just say, okay, I'm gonna be patient, and I'll throw some attacks out, but I really want you to attack me, so I can pick up your time and learn to see. And then you get hit a couple hundred times, and go home to Bruce and go, hope I learned something.
Yeah, let me say how much practicing patience sucks.
Oh my God, we all want to get the fight done.
Yeah. I'm especially bad about it. Right? A normal tournament match can last like a minute and a half.
Right.
Like a minute and a half fencing time, pausing in between each exchange. I have seen Ryan take the full minute and a half.
She's very patient.
Very patient.
Yep. And that's really,
And I have maxed out the expected points in about 35, 37 seconds. There was one fight that I was doing at one point that had to go the full time because neither of us would get enough points to mercy rule the other out. We were at like 12 and 12 after a minute and a half. And we had to go to sudden death, which took 2 exchanges, which was another.
I mean, almost everybody has that problem.
Yeah.
If you can outweight your opponent, because the easiest thing to do, really, is if you go, I'm not going to worry about hitting you. I'm just going to defend myself. And you defend, and you defend, and you move out of range, and you defend, and you defend. And they're just going to get fed up. And then they're going to throw something, they're going to throw a combination that's dumb, and then you just hit them in the head, and you go on with life. But you've got to wait forever. It is the hardest self-discipline thing to do, probably.
Yep.
For me too. Because I like to fight. I want to get in there and scrap it up. I don't want to patiently wait.
One of us is going to hit the other, so I'm going to throw this thing
Yeah, I'm going to
slightly out of range, so that the thing is going to start.
Right, because I want it to start.
Or, as I've been told, I will murder stalk in Iron Gate, where I'll come up here, and then throw the cover, switching them to respawn,
Right.
and then I drop my point and
Right.
stuff happens.
You want to do something.
Yeah.
You want to force it.
Yeah, I am terrible about
You want to
it.
force it. Yeah. I throw maybe.
So, counter thrusting.
Thrusting, counter thrusting.
Thrusting and counter thrusting. So, we're going to do a simple, go to Iron Gate.
No, that's voice, sorry.
And off to the side, there you go.
I got it.
We're going to just do a nice low line thrust in. From Iron Gate, you cover, step through the sunlight, so you're stepping into the attack, and counter thrusting. So if you were to thrust in at me,
Not pass.
so if I thrust in,
Nope.
step,
So it is passing. Okay.
passing step through that center line.
I was trying to watch a video and it wasn't.
So it's,
Alright.
you want to get through that center line.
We put the same timing as the cutter.
I'm getting something going out for a while.
There you go.
That's it.
And I'm going to switch. After a few.
I will attack you.
Yeah, commit to that thrust.
All right.
You don't land it. Because the more you practice actually going, I'm going to go for that thrust. So it gives you time to work on landing the thrust. And working the timing of your thrust.
I guess I have the idea in my head that semi-cooperative means not low effect. It does a lower intensity. That might be a bad thing.
It's lower intensity, but not lower intention. It's the same intention. And you'll see when Rob and I are doing stuff, my intention is to stab him. Whether we do at 50% speed, 25% speed, or 75 to 100.
And we move this! Boom!
Because we both went, we're going 75 to 100. Close your eyes.
The thrust is gonna hurt.
Yeah. So it's not changing the level of intention. Cooperativity doesn't change the level of intention. Your intention is still the same. I'm going to land this thrust, or I'm going to land this kind of thrust.
I'm on the thrust.
So if I do nothing, Rob's intention of thrusting me is still going to be the same. And it's our politeness to each other to go, yes, we are doing this drill. These are the things we are doing. I'm not going to all of a sudden change the drill up and go, aha! I am advancing!
Oh, look at that. I can win this drill. I know what to do. Look at this. Oh, look! Ah!
Damn veins!
I can beat him. I won the drill.
It's not about winning the drill. It's about having the same intention. Maybe at a lower intensity, because we're friends. And we're doing it.
And thrusting kind of sucks when you get hit over it.
Yeah. Getting dunked in the head sucks, like when you do it like 20 times in a row.
Yeah. But the mask's really hard.
The mask's too.
The rest of me's pretty squishy.
All right, rotate one spot.
The rest of me's pretty squishy.
Does that help? The idea of the same
That makes sense.
intention, regardless of intensity. Does that help you? Okay. All right.
Yeah. The rest of me.
So, yeah, you bring the hands, you want to keep the hands below the tip to make that control a little bit better.
Give me one.
Once more, but when you make the cover, keep the hands low so that the tip comes down.
It's always hard with me.
That's why we practice. We're working. We wouldn't have to do this. Try real hard to do it without raising your hands.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
There you go. Take it time, and you don't need it. Well, thank you for you and helping.
I know how to fix this thing and then try
Yes, that's fine. I'm wearing a left on. My girlfriend likes the bruises.
Yeah, all right. You both have a chance to do it?
Yep.
Rotate.
Yeah, now that you say that, I guess it's nothing I can practice. So
Nice quick three.
Okay.
I messed up. You got to bust it.
Nice. SPR video I posted.
Yeah.
This is the field view of how it was. So you notice the two boards hit far enough away that you can tell. He's like, and then the dude just dropped. He's like, I stabbed him in the face.
It's online. You know what here, you have to drop it again, or if you hear, you go like that, and it points online and you set
Right, one change, footwork. You bring your sword up, just take that front foot and step out. That looks like it was easier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you get on the end on the back. That's it.
Nice.
Nice. Cool. All right. How did you like that drill?
That was nice.
Cool. Not I'm more difficult,
Because it is more difficult.
It is more difficult, but it's the same time, your head's making it more difficult. Like, you-
I would say that the space that it's safe is a little bit smaller.
yeah,
It's just a slightly smaller window of the attack is coming, I need to intercept the sword and do this thing. And part of that is the mechanics of this parry, and you were both getting it. Like you were starting to see that mechanic. Like when you're thrusting in, that step off and keeping the head low gives you this nice position where, yes, I am on the strong of Rob's sword. Rob, can you move my sword out of the way?
Nope.
I am fully behind my sword,
Right.
and I just get that
Right.
point there.
All I've done is my shoulders at this point, just shove. I mean, you have to use my head to upper body, but he's got a strong line.
Yep.
I'd have to shift to a strong line to take this, but I'm not gonna have time to do that. Like, I run out of time, because this point's coming.
So, you made mention of it, and it made sense. You also just said it. What is the benefit of having hands low versus hand high? So when I was going, I would end up in a position, he was about standing, and I would, I come up high.
Because you're
You're looking to get over his guard.
yeah, I can find my knee. Yeah.
So this is one of those super complicated things, and I saw you doing this a lot, this idea of coming up here for that cover. Rebecca does it too. Rebecca does it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It is a structurally unstable place to be. It is a mechanically good place to get over something. But your degree of safety is less. I'm going to use degree of safety as just a generalized term to say how much time you have to pull off the thing you want to pull off, and how likely you are to get hit if you screw up, mildly versus major. So like, with my hands low and doing this thing, mild. And then step out. My degree of safety gets higher. I am less likely to get hit.
Right.
I have a longer time period where this will be successful. And it'll be in a pretty good spot to do something. But I might have to do more work.
Right.
Like if I make this cover and Rob's thrust goes high, in order to get that thrust in, I will have to do more.
And I think when you wind up, you're looking for that weakness to push the thrust through, which you should already be doing on your initial contact of the blades. Make the thrust nice and slow. So as he's coming in, I find his weak here before his foot lands, and I drive this in. So I've already found the weak, I've already pushed it aside by the time we end up here. And what you're feeling is, you're coming here and going, oh, I don't have it, I'm strong, let me go find this weak and bring my hands up. And what makes this more dangerous is my hands are up, he can find it, or he can go just duck underneath my hands, or whatever he wants to do. Whereas I made that initial contact on my countercut, I found his weak, and by the time I'm hitting him, yes, we are core to core, but I actually met him here and came in. That is part of it, but I can understand why if you're cutting into it and feeling it strong, you're naturally trying to find a way to make that thrust like that.
And I guess part of it was of measuring, because I had such a long blade, I had to go up high.
Right. And really what you need to do, what it is you get to take a smaller step.
Yeah.
Or what you were doing a lot of times in the last drill, was stepping this way, or you step farther across with hands up. But the difference is contact and where you're making that initial contact. What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna make the much shorter blade than mine, right?
Okay.
Here, at least more on par with your blade length.
Now it's really short.
Instead of super short like. So when I'm making this cover, go ahead and get a little bit closer so you can make that. If you were to land that thrust, go over it. Yeah, there's this idea that I gotta bring my hands up to
Find his weak.
find that spot, but it's really just, I can keep my hands nice and low. That one's right there. Okay, if you look at what my shoulders are doing, I kind of wish I had like Nerf darts or tutu. By the way, do you know what's that? Like a ballerina.
Okay, yeah. Well, you said nerf darts, so how did you relate?
Something that sticks out from my shoulders.
So you can see the way your shoulders rotate.
The way my shoulders are rotating. So I'm here. I'm here. Look at what this shoulder.
Yeah, you move.
Look at what the this sides. Look at what the Babylon pass is doing. This is cheating, but it's easier mechanics to go, oh, there's something coming at me. I'm going to aggress into the thrust. That stepping into the thrust is important. And I'm going to use my hips and my shoulders to make all the space I need for that thrust to just land.
The arm's just here. The body adds power. The arm's here. Body adds power. If you're adding power with your arms, you're doing yourself a disadvantage because you'll always find something stronger.
Well, it's good to know that I should do it.
See? That's it. This is the learning opportunity.
This is very cool. Once again, if you knew how to do it perfectly,
You be teaching this class.
you'd be teaching the class.
So I know this is a stupid question. It's not.
Sure.
I understand what you said. So when you're thrusting in high, you would want to raise up close to protect yourself from that. Like if they come down with a pendente. That's still, I know because you said the higher is biomechanically feasible, but if you're thrusting in
And the
high,
same side there, because we're both trying to
Yeah, I'm picturing what you're saying. I think different contexts and different attacks.
That's right.
It's like the winding high is not a bad thing in itself.
just in this specific example.
If my thrust is coming in low,
Yeah.
you having to find my weak by going up high and feel that you can push this thrust in is not the best option. If I'm attacking and you come up to there and try to thrust, that's fine.
Okay.
But the attack is coming this way. You raising up is the second action, which takes up more time.
That makes sense.
Right. And that extra tempo is not what we're doing here. A counter actually is a single tempo defense and attack together.
Yeah, and then in this context.
Right, in this context, right.
The most efficient.
Yeah,
best.
most efficient, because I'm going one, and you should at that same one go one hand. You want to measure, like musical notes. Raising up makes it go one and two, which gives me time to go one and fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm out of here.
I literally just read an article that said, when you establish that rhythm and that tempo, it's the end notes, the end beats, where you make your strike and you land it.
In contra tempo, you are on the ands.
Yeah.
If it's timed like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's still within that same beat. Let's see.
And.
Or whatever,
you know, depends on how many people.
depends, yeah.
Half an hour.
Sorry, we should all be doing that.
We should all be doing
The other part of a single time counter like this is that degree of safety. I might not land this thrust. Like, you might thrust in, I might make this counter. I might not land it because you saw me doing something and you started to raise your hands and doing this, you know. But that just means that, yes, this thrust didn't land, but I'm still safe. And I still have time to do the next thing.
Right.
To do the next thing.
You're not dead in that one spot.
Yep.
You have time to nothing.
Okay.
Like most of them.
Now, I will say, if I flub up my counter,
Yep.
I'm dead.
Right.
No questions. I got stabbed.
And it comes in COVID because he's been stabbed.
Yep.
Is that a car or is that a
I
building?
think that's a fire, it's an ambulance.
Yeah, okay, it's moving away.
And I don't think it's a car sign, but.
Alright.
It's a moving away.
It's a moving away, that's fine. It's not this building on fire, or it's not the next door building on fire.
Would you feel more comfortable, doing one-time counters when you know your opponent's speed or you know the tempo you're fighting in? Because I know this is a useful thing in the toolbox, I've done it.
Mhm.
But I'm just thinking, when do you specifically, will you pull it out and use it?
Wednesday overcommits to an attack.
Yeah,
That's usually, like, when I
Yeah.
know that they're going for a one-hit kill shot,
Most.
that's when I'm mostly close.
right. Or if I see them revving up to land something with strength and hoping to overpower me,
Okay.
if I can interrupt, if I can stuff that attack with a counter, it works because they're putting all their emphasis onto, oh, his sword's there, I'm just gonna plow through his strike. Whatever he throws, I'm gonna plow through it. And then I interrupt it before he has a chance to extend everything out to power. I stuff that with that counter. If they're playing tentative, then a lot of times they're gonna strike short and you're gonna end up missing
Yep.
your counter strike. You'll still defend yourself.
And you'll be in a good spot.
Yeah, you'll be in a good spot. But, yeah, that's when I wouldn't use it. But the only way to really practice this is when you're free exchanging, go, all right, I'm gonna try to lure you into striking at me, like striking multiple times, making me tentative, making me go on to push through this guy. And then you set him up. And then you play it out.
Maybe tells and go whenever you when they come.
You're not gonna learn except by doing it 10,000 times and failing at it 9,000 times.
But thinking about doing it 10,000 times, let's do it.
Let's do it again!
Let's do this again.
Put your hat. Put your hat. That's it, that's it. Put my hands down. My step.
This time, the attacking stab can come from low or high.
Ooh. Can we do, is it the same count or can we do any?
Same count.
Okay.
I want you to keep your hands low. I want you to get your shoulders turning into this. All right. So it doesn't matter if I come low or high. You always do the same thing. Step back.
Yeah, I step back because I know I'm going wrong. Holy smokes.
Yeah. That seemed like super easy, didn't it? One more.
Move your feet. There you go. There.
You let me do it wrong.
And one more.
Oh no. That's my bad. I was trying to, I wasn't
Take it
thinking
easy.
about that. Oh, I mean, that's not stance.
Good. Again. I just wanted to make sure that I landed that one.
Yeah, well, it's close. Oh my.
See, I didn't trust myself. I put my hands too high, and I couldn't actually do anything.
Well, in my boat.
Yep. I ain't perfect. Not yet. All right, you guys switch?
Yep.
Cool. Rotate.
Your turn.
Yeah. I mean, you were safe. My sword was way outside. All right, switch.
Nice, nice.
No need.
Alright.
A little small. There you go.
Right, how about that?
Remember, you're not defending the friend beside you, you're defending just you. See how good that are. That's the secret of learning. That's defending this buddy over here. That's defending me.
I think I'm overcompensating because I don't trust the heads.
Yep,
I'm not used to, shoulders.
you don't trust the geometry.
Yeah.
Trust in math. Math will never fail you.
Probably hate that.
All right, rotate one spot.
Where's it works with anything. Yeah.
I just wanted to see if I could.
That's right. One more.
All right, off mask and gloves. Is water.
Roar.
Down. So, questions, comments about the drills we've done today?
I'm tempo, but it's Italian as it gets. Germans might take it control from the front.
Yeah.
So this is very Italian.
It's also very modern on defensing.
Yeah, kind of. And the defense is always a two-time. Generally, Remember, the parry is to parade somewhere. So you go from one guard or ward to another. Not so guy, who's over there? I forget his name. No. This guy was older, he does. But anyway, he said, look, there's a difference between wards and guards, as there's a difference between guards, wards, and parries. Sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're different. It all depends on what you're doing. You know, like with Barazzo, you're cutting from guard to guard. Which are all launching points for attacks, but all of Barazzo's guards are the ends of cuts. So even you're cutting from one to the other, which means I'm cutting into whatever attack I'm at and ending there. Whether I hit you and get there, or whether I just defend and have the second intention. A counter time is very attack. Like I said, Germans want to attack first and keep control.
I mean, counter time is also in the German book.
Well, yes.
There's the abscess and the onsets.
Yeah, there are definitely this. And you know, they have this, and they have fencing and knocked, which would also be this in a way. I'm making an action on your play, you attack, I'm attacking after your attack. So yes, but I don't know, I just content was very excited.
So, my goal for Saturday is going to be mostly a repeat of this, but I'm going to change up the drills a little bit. Because, you know, we're going to play around with the other thing that we didn't play around with, changing the guards. And we're still going to use the measure, but you're going to come in,
Right.
and as you're coming closer, you're going to transition between guards and then you attack them.
We did that a little bit today if you're attacking from a high. If you're attacking from a high for us.
Yeah.
That's a change.
That was Ryan Paul, I really want to talk about it. Want to talk about what?
Yeah, it's super important. Like,
I mean,
it is one of my jobs as an instructor to give you enough that you have stuff to work on, enough that you're learning something, enough that you're going, okay, I'm fixing these problems, I'm more aware of the problem that I have, without giving you so much that you can't absorb it. Like, maybe we did 4 drills, 5
Yes.
today. With
it's a lot.
everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to replay our minds. It's a lot to go back and watch the video. I mean, I'm going to get this up tonight.
Yeah.
I need to go home and do editing stuff for audiobook stuff tonight anyway. So I'm going to get this done, start uploading, and hopefully have it up by midnight.
Right.
And the thing with theory, and that's really important because you have to start to
Understand why decisions are made.
Why we're doing things.
Yeah, why would this counter time be better than defending and then throwing a second attack? Because you can say, once I have your sword, then I'm on it, I know what you're gonna do. I have precognition, if it's light, you're gonna take it away, if it's heavy, you're gonna try to push. In that second action, I'm safe, because I know what you're gonna do. So, when do you use this, when do you don't, that's a tactical decision. That's a guess made on your opponent. You know, the opponent seems to be trying to strike with these hitting and none combinations, perfect. To me, that goes, counter time attack would probably work. You know, in the same way as I might feint and attack, that's short, let them attack, and then attack after would also be an option. But to understand why you would do it, yeah, it's really important. Otherwise, you're just throwing shit out at the person and figuring out the hard way. I mean, if you already have the backtrack, we didn't lay out as tactics.
No.
We have what to do, but not why.
Yeah. And it's this wonderful thing where everything's connected and you go from one place to another. And you can. I can't because I'm not quite good enough yet. But if you take the time, you could go through most of the Largo section from play to play. And go, okay, this failed, but it allows me to do this next thing. That failed, allows me to do this thing. Yeah, there's a couple of end stops, and if you did this, if you do this, you won.
You won.
If they fail to stab you with that counter stab,
Right.
grab their hilt, and yeah,
Right.
whatever that thing is. But in general, like, each of these things are related to each other, kind of like how the first bit of the dagger, first dagger master is related, or the grappling, where, like, if they give you this neutral pressure, it's one thing. If they're pushing in, it's a different thing. If they're trying to pull back so they can, pin cushion you, you have different options. If you don't like them, then you're going to go off your arm, or I'm going to take you to the ground now. These different options are there, but it's all connected to each other. And it's super there. It's super in the system. But it doesn't hold your hand.
Right.
It doesn't say, when they're strong in the bond, do this thing. When they're weak in the bond, do this thing. Hell, even the German book, which has those things in it, doesn't hold your hand in the Zornhouse section because they give you 3 options, and they are about, like, I have won the bind, stab him in the fucking face.
Right.
We're neutral in the bind. Wind up and stab
Stab in
them.
the face? There you go.
I've lost the bind. Well, cut around with the clearing.
Right.
Which is debatable how it works, but whatever.
Once again, think about, like, don't just ignore tactics, but don't beat yourself up over not getting them yet. 10 years, you'll start to put it all together in
I mean, the other thing is
20
just
years.
building your back tricks.
Yeah, well, I guess that's where I'm at, is where I have become a measure.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, okay, so they're in a low guard, which means they have an opening a high guard, but should I go for that high guard, or should I go for a high attack, or should I bait them and try to go under, and like, I have a lot of options going in my mind, and I'm trying to, I guess, narrow them down and see what.
Once again, play with them all.
Yep.
You pick some things you want to do and focus on those. Remember, competition fighters who win do 3 things really well. They have 3 techniques that they do well generally, and they win. Boxers do it, fencers do it, EMA guys do it.
Yeah.
There's 3 attacks or 3 things I can do that I know 90% of the time work. And they will practice those things relentlessly. You want to get good at tournaments, you find those 3 things, because that's the only thing your brain can hold under pressure. And you do them over and over and over again. So you can get really good. And as you progress, you'll have that 3 things. You know that. Okay, I throw this, and 90% of the time, I've learned when to throw it at my opponent, and I've learned what they'll probably do, and I can make this work. And you'll get those. But you don't get them until you try a bunch of stuff. And that will change.
Oh, yeah.
That will change as you keep fighting.
When I first started, my high percentage actions, grab them, take their sword, throw it to the ground, pummel them. That was my high percentage. Like when I started, I got about 36, 40 inches of sword. You got about 36, 40 inches of sword. Well, probably more like 40, 46 inches of sword because
And we're using Regetti, and they're 100 centimeters long, and
it's a mini montante.
Right.
Longer, better. Whatever. If I can get past my 40 inches of steel and your 50 inches of steel to grab you bodily, well, guess what? You done fucked up. And I deserve to do the things I'm going to do to you. And it worked to a level. And it worked well to a level. But it can only take you so far.
did you run into that person that goes, fuck you, I'm not gonna let you close?
You run into Steve Chain.
Right, who's, 8 feet long, and his arms are 6 feet long.
Yeah.
And he's just so tall that he strikes with your head, you put your sword up, and it doesn't matter, he's hitting you in the butt. So you go, fuck you, now you're touching the wrist from underneath them.
And that's,
Yeah.
so that's
Wait a minute.
one of the things that every new student goes, what gear do you recommend? Like, I recommend you don't get gear right now because I'm going to play around with stuff. I want you to feel what you're working on. I need to go, okay, I like a shorter sword. I like a longer sword, right? Why? What am I allowed to do? What kind of?
I've done this forever with my beginning.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw the blade, the crossguard's broken, I took it apart, I still haven't put it back together yet. I love it.
This was my go-to sword for
Yeah, I
the
love it.
first
I
4
like
years.
I like the length. I didn't let people close. I made them sword fight me. I have a long sword fighting history. It's easy. I like it. But then I started working on closer stuff. And when I refitted that sword, which is shorter, and I had a new shorter sword,
Yep.
that made me go, oh man, I'm missing everybody. Oh, I'm 6 inches shorter now. So I now I gotta work a little harder to get the fuck in there. Then I bought the Spadonic, so I don't have to get the fuck in there. I can be even fine when you were there.
I didn't really want to say your large mouth.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the North Sword is a long sword XL.
All right. You don't have fun?
Yep.
You'll learn something.
Beat.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that one for you.
Too late.
All right. So that. Thank you very much, class.
Roar!
The floor is open, and I need to at least 5 exchanges in with somebody.
Okay. 5 exchanges with how many people left?
That's a long story. Now, my 2023 goal is to do at least 5 exchanges at the end of every class.
Okay.
Because the most common question that I get asked is, why do you teach? Why do you do swords?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I teach so that I can fight more people, so there's more people that can fight. Problem is, I was saying that for like 2 or 3 years where I wasn't fighting people that much.
Right.
I was like, no, there's a problem with distance. I need to fix that. So I either need to change my answer or start fighting people.
Yep. Fighting you is way easier than changing your answer. Yeah.
Admitting you're wrong, I'll pass
What's that?
it. Admitting you're wrong, pass it back.
I know I'm wrong all the time. I just.
Oh, I do that all the
Yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And when I'm not sure that my answer is actually different.
Yeah.
So if I change my answer, then I'm lying.
Right. But if he just changes with some actions.
And actually start fighting people more often.
Boom. And body exchange in the other class.
Yep. And Mike's all ready to go.
I was here for it.
I was getting ready, I was about to put my mask on, Mike's just getting.
Yeah, Mike's present, man. I'm ready to go. Mike's like, love you guys. He's mine.
Yeah.
You can have whatever meat is left over when I'm done. All right, well, why don't you guys go deep? Let go of the camera. Because I know how Mike likes to grapple.
Yeah, well, I know whenever I fight Michael, I'm gonna have to say, oh, okay.
Or, you want to go?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, sure. Looking like we cut me the other day. So I'll see.
If you think to yourself, jump all the way in, you would have got me on the head while I was getting on the heads.
Oh, nice.
I know.
That's all right. I missed that. I didn't step with it. I was like, nope, you weren't there.
You got it. Nice. gross. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's flat.
All right, hold on. I can't breathe. Oh, you're going out for those? No, I'm calling.
Good. Nice. Yep, looks good.
Oh, nice. Got me on the shoulder. I don't know. I'm in this spot.
Thanks, guys. That-
Yep, you had me in there.
I was, that was landed, but you just didn't cover yourself up top.
Yeah. Look good, Pat.
3 more. I don't know.
I think you hit me there somewhere.
I hit you, but it probably was flat.
I mean, just gravity made that custom plan.
Nice. That was the other side. That was good.
No, it was flat the whole time.
One more. This one's real. Your left depends on this.
Oh, you got me.
Good.
That's one. Yeah, I'm done.
Mike, just go tackle Rob.
Oh, Rob.
I'm gonna go back.
Go this way.
Oh, you got me.
I got my hand.
Is that flat? Is that not flat?
No, you got my fingers. That was, well, I couldn't tell the angle of your sword, but I thought it was.
You want to watch the replay. Watch the replay with the NFL.
All right.
I think you're in times.
Good. Hesitated. All right, 2 more.
Sorry.
Good, you got it.
Ah, good.
Not too much feedback, I don't think a lot of quality.
Nice.
How you feeling on the shoulder?
So you're not getting the other class going.
Shouldn't have done that.
I got 5 exchanges, and that's all I'm gonna get out of this one.
Take it slow. You want to take it slow and then you do it back in like longer minutes.
Yeah, sorry about that. 5 changes. I think I'm gonna do 5 changes that way. It's not- That one counts.
Maybe not it, but I was trying to kind of like see what he's doing and just go back to the
What?
All right, we didn't hit the camera. You gotta try to throw the sword once in a while.
Oh yeah. Like I said,
3 more.
he was trying to make it happen. I was not going for it, not doing too well. And then the last one, like, and
Oh, good. 1 more. Double, let's do it again. Ah, 1 more still. Okay.
Hey Michael, can you see?
No.
wow.
Why did you say so?
Because you were just attacking him.
Well, yes, I can see. You're not saying I can't see anything.
Yeah.
I didn't know the blast shit was down when you were using the force.
Yeah, you were using a shorter blade. You want to look?
Okay.
Yeah.
That was good. Nice.
Next time, just say something.
Yeah.
I wanted to practice fighting without seeing.
Okay. Well, if that's
I also the sperm
That's
attack is 50% because it fills up the mass a little bit better and gives me a better fit. 50% because with longer hair, it's going to fall into your face and this keeps it from falling into your face.
Are we each doing 5 with Patrick?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know we were doing 5. Okay.
He's doing it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want people doing to eat their double switch over to my short, so that's good.
Frankly, it's more fun.
Okay.
Face is a little short.
Good luck. I'm keeping that channel.
Flat.
Flat.
Flat. Good.
Go back from the hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you go back and hit this, look at the third point, structure line.
What's that?
When we did that counter thrust,
Yeah.
structure.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, we had a big spark off on it.
I didn't see that because it was behind my sword and
Right, yeah.
It looked really cool.
Nice. I saw you setting up that thrust. I was like, oh, I know what to do here.
Well, I thought he tagged me under the thumb. I was flat with my thumb on top, ready to give it.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I'm gonna keep going with that. But yeah, let me come out. And so it's picking me up.
That's fine.
Yeah, but these gloves, not great on direct blows on the thumbs, like the sparks. Not sparks, it's nothing bad.
Okay.
But you know, I'll give that up with some ability and stuff like that on them. I don't take a lot of hand shots.
Me neither. I think I've done most hand shots during these physical moments tonight.
Right?
It's good enough. Like,
So, you are leading with that shoulder
yeah.
when you're down here,
Yep.
and that's why I'm able to
Get that.
come around and kick that arm, pick that arm twice for that. Because you're just indifferent, you're just enough in distance, and the shoulder's just enough forward that even when I'm back, I can kick the elbow. So,
Appreciate it.
yep. Like I said, I've done it to you. Yeah, I can't thank you for tonight. I'm gonna go through high, high, you sweep in the low, and at the end of that sweep, you're just.
Because I know. Yeah.
So I'm able to just pick it off. Like it's at the extreme range, I can't dive in too deep.
Yeah.
But I can.
One time you can, and pop.
Yeah, exactly. That's if I get in too deep, that happens. But I can just get over there, and the guard is enough to pick that up.
Nice.
So, yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since I've taken a front shot like that. That's okay. It'll be
Little discoloration.
here. Just big guy.
Yeah.
These chicks like that. Yeah, no, I was playing around with the cup here again. For the last couple days. New variations on the Zorn and flavor.
How many grappling range I thought you'd get there?
But I'm perfecting that little bind because of you.
I saw you do it a couple times.
Yeah, yes, I did it twice. And I'm getting the, okay, here's my setup. I need you to just feel strong enough. I need to throw that one cut strong enough that you feel safe in carrying it.
Yep.
As long as your arms aren't straight in that, if your arm's slightly bent, that's my opening to just stuff my hand in there.
Yeah.
And as soon as my hand's through, let it roll up and lock it, and that's good. So,
Oh, good deal.
I'm liking that. That's, makes me happy.
That one? Alright, two more.
Because I screwed up. So, sorry.
Right.
Is that I had one stitch.
Ah!
I went through to the inside of the
Right.
other side of the sleeve.
Right.
So I put it on, it was like snap.
And snap off.
Personally, I didn't actually like the green thread.
Okay.
The black thread.
Finish black thread, yeah.
Okay, well,
One more?
Okay.